Tunavites, welcome back. We have a special show for you today. And to start things off with a Tunalite Fresh Take Hotline, one of the founding fathers of our league, the defender of punters, the man who doesn't miss an opportunity to throw me under the bus, also known as Tum Tum, the co-commish and coach of the Fighting Billy Goats, Jonathan Cameron.
Yeah!
Welcome.
Hey, I want to start with something. If our fellow friends from growing up are wondering, their time is still alive and true, as we were supposed to start this about 45 minutes ago.
This was important, okay? The air horn was important. Jonathan, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. You guys do a great job. Honored to be here.
Hey, where did you get the hat?
What says I'm going to kick your fantasy team's butt more than this?
Okay, all right. So, Richard, take us away.
Hey, I wasn't ready for that. All right. Sure thing. So, commissioners, it's good to see you. I hope everybody's doing well this week.
Excellent.
Good. So I thought we could start off by talking about the fact that CBS Sports is definitely listening in on our conversations, because when we noted that they were not doing draft grades and talking about our team the way we drafted, the next day they drop it.
Well, Richard, you know what I can say about that? What really did it for us was that, we told CBS, we said, you know what, CBS, you're not giving the draft grades. We're walking out. We're walking out because in 2020 that worked. So we said, we're gone. And they said, no, come back. Here's your grades.
It just proves that they're copying everything from us. It's proof.
They looked to us for answers.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of draft grades, what do you guys think about how they treated you? How they evaluated your teams?
Obviously underrated. Much better than a C on my side. So,
well,
some of them they got spot on. Richard, I thought they over-evaluated. I thought yours sucked pretty hard.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I think they underdid it, but that's okay. Reed, how did you feel about your A+ rating or whatever you got?
Well, I think that's the grade I had last year. So, since it worked out last year, I'm good with it. So I know it. Yeah.
They must have liked Mark Andrews as well.
Hey, now listen.
Let's hear 20 minutes on that.
Hey, you know what? We can devote that time. I'll take it. I'll go deep dive into him. All his charity and everything he does off the field. Let's go. Let me text him right now. Oh, okay. Here's the thing about the draft. What's that, Richard?
He's got 2 first names.
Yeah, always a crowd pleaser. I think the draft grades, I thought other than, I think really the ones they were really harsh on Donald. Sorry, Donald. And I don't know. I think, of course, they bring the quarterback value. So when you look at the grades for quarterbacks, you notice all the teams that kept a quarterback, they give them a worse grade because they're factoring in, where you typically and all these other drafts experts and stuff where they do the quarterback. So if you look at that and you say, hey, all these teams that had bad quarterbacks, they pretty much were the ones that kept a quarterback because they're obviously going by average draft position and value and how they do all their stuff. No, I thought overall, it's fun to look at it. I wish that they would, we were talking about this before we started, but I wish that they would let you look at every team's kind of breakdown that CBS does as far as what they say about each team. Because I like for mine, like I'll just like I think some of the stuff they said was just that obviously like I have the weakest receiver group. Yeah. They did. But yeah, like they gave me an A because like I guess where I drafted them, and so but they give like the whole thing. So they said like I had the weak receivers. They show where like the players were maybe outreached and the values I got. I would love to just see like everybody's like what they say about everybody's team. That's the only thing I wish that they would add into everything. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's important to note that last year Dad got the worst grade of the draft and ended up in the championship. So I don't put a lot of weight into what they say.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
Although I would agree that to some of the things that they said about mine. Looking back, I'm just like, 2 a.m. drafting is just not nice.
Everybody should do it,
Decisions I made.
Well, no, they gave 3 A's on the draft and 3 B's, and they were, like I said, other than well, I said Donald, but they actually gave Josh or Daryl. Daryl. They gave Daryl a B. So, but yeah, you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's only part of it, and of course, this is just their projection. So I mean, you drafted your team, you were higher on guys than others. So like if you followed CBS and did exactly with their rankings, then you're going to get a better draft grade if you so.
Yeah.
That's exactly. It's fun.
Maybe you're really high on the Steelers and want to take them in the second round. And,
he's a big believer. Big believer in them.
Your third pick.
Yeah, I want to touch on. Let's talk about Donald for a second.
Yeah.
I gave away a lot of draft picks for Christian McCaffrey, and I almost feel bad for how they turned out. You lead a horse to water, saying, and taking the Steelers in the second round, a backup quarterback. I think he is going to look back and say, that was a miss.
Yeah, probably when Christian McCaffrey scores like 5 touchdowns in the first half like he normally does, then Donald's why did I do that?
I wonder what it's like to have a first-round draft pick.
Or second.
Yeah, you guys just punted on the first and second round. You said, see you in the third round. I was wondering if anybody would have been different. I mean, listen, between you two not having 2 first-round picks and John Mack like coming in and out of the draft, I was like, is anybody in my division here?
Yeah. We need John Mack so that way we can have the full division here, right?
I know, yeah, the Atlantic. That's where. Hey, listen, that's where you get all the real news, all the real things happen. Nothing fake. Everything is genuine.
Yeah, the Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic. Okay, you should read it sometimes. Good news comes from
the most creative name we've come up with so far, I think.
Well, that's where the best Tunavites are. So just saying.
Facts.
The Southern. I don't know about the Southern, but maybe not so good. Well, let's move on from the draft grades. They're always fun to look at. But Richard, I think what we really wanted to grill Jonathan about was his own draft and how he really feels about it, not just the fluff stuff.
Sounds good.
Well, besides doing a phenomenal job.
Oh, look at that. We got it pulled up. All right.
Let's get to his team. All right, there you go, Jonathan.
There it is in all its glory.
There you go. Well, I'll say this. When I saw Dak Prescott go so early, I didn't think there would be any chance I would get Kyler Murray. So I was very pleasantly surprised to land him. I almost took him in my 3rd round pick that I traded with Amari Cooper. I ended up taking DK because I thought the drop-off, as Reed said in the last one, was pretty significant. So I rolled the dice a little bit more. I wanted either Kyler Murray or Josh Allen, who ended up being Richard's oops pick. But I think that's the only one he did well was when the computer did it for him. But I'm stoked, man. I think Kyler Murray is going to come out. He's going to have a great year. There's some running back concerns, and that's why I took 3 in a row of trying to figure out. I got to figure someone to go with the cheat code, Christian McCaffrey. But I feel good about everything that I landed on and where we're going with the team. Chris Godwin's a rock star. George Kittle's a rock star. So I felt awesome about my keepers. And then filling it out like we did. And, Anthony McFarland, that would be my looking back. I dropped him within 48 hours. But he was at the end of my draft. I started taking kickers after that. So I wasn't too worried. It's not a big loss.
Hey, listen, Jonathan, I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that he was late to practice and you have zero tolerance, like Bill Belichick.
Anthony McFarland, he needs to pay attention. He needs to pay attention. So I hope he ends up in the boot.
So, Jonathan, let me ask you this. Was there, I guess with your team, was there anybody particular that in the draft that you were like really just like kind of hoping to get that you just like missed out on? Anybody in particular?
Yeah, actually, I really liked Ronald Jones this year. I think he's going to have a breakout year and do some great things. I think he's going to catch a lot more passes than people anticipated, especially after they signed Shady McCoy. I think Rojo is going to be the guy back there and do big things. John Mack, I think, got a good one there. I think Josh is going to look back and say, "Why did I take Gronk over Rojo? You got the wrong buck. Especially when he takes to Henry the next round. I mean,
yeah, don't worry. I was in the draft with him, and I kind of was like, "Did you really want another tight end?" He said, "Yeah." So I was like, "All right." I'll start talking about tight ends. I have a soft spot for them, and Mark Andrews. Let's go. So Jonathan, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Jonathan, how did you feel about, just like overall, just with the draft and just, kind of with everybody and how it went, how did you feel about it? Anything that surprised you?
Let's see here. My biggest surprise pick. Let me look at my notes real fast. This is the easy one. Steelers going in the second round to Donald.
Yeah.
That one definitely was an oopsie pick. Auto pick would have done much better for him.
Well, and Jonathan, you talked about Kyler Murray falling you when Donald took Drew Brees before you took Kyler Murray. I was really surprised.
Yeah, when Dak went off the board, I didn't think I had a chance at Kyler, and then fourth round. I was pretty stoked.
I really thought Aaron, because Aaron took Russell Wilson before you. I thought he was going to try to do a combo with DeAndre Hopkins and get Kyler Murray. That's what I thought he was going to do. Yeah. So
that's why I was stuck between Kyler Murray and Josh Allen, and I just felt like Hopkins was the factor. I know Allen got Stephon Diggs, and he's a great player, but he's not Hopkins.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm not sold on Josh Allen, to be honest. It auto-picked me, so I'm going to take it what I got. But he was good at the end of last year. At the beginning of last year, he wasn't that good. I remember because I had him, and I dropped him, and then you picked him up, and then you got him. You had him, Jonathan.
And I started him.
What's that?
And he was doing good for me.
Yeah.
Well, Richard,
I'm not sold yet.
Okay, Richard, let me hype you up for Josh Allen for just a moment, okay? All right, this will take 20 minutes. That's only for Mark Andrews. Okay, so Josh Allen, okay, last year, okay, had John Brown, really didn't have a whole lot of other weapons. The thing about people forget about him is that he's actually really good at like rushing. Like he'll take off and run and get a lot of yards, and people don't think about him like they think about all the other Russian quarterbacks. And now that they've added Stephon Diggs, okay, you add that to his arsenal, and they added the running back Zach Moss, who's going to be another guy who can, with Singletary, he can catch passes, and a guy that they're excited about. So I'd be excited about Josh Allen. To me, his ceiling, his arrow can only go up from here.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, his completion percentage is not that great.
Yeah, he overthrows a lot of people. He's a Cam Newton. ish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. There you
I'm
go.
gonna stick with him, but I did draft Aaron Rodgers the next chance I got, so just in case.
Yeah, it's not a bad combo.
So.
So yeah.
Right. Enough about me.
Well, what do you guys think about Stafford and Big Ben this year, coming back from injuries? Stafford was having an MVP type season if he didn't play for the Lions before he got hurt. I thought those are both good picks with Nathan and Dwayne.
Go ahead, Richard. I'll let you take this.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think they're just.
That was deep.
I mean, I think they're going to be fine. I think Stafford's probably got a better wide receiver setup. I think, and I don't know, his running backs are going to be interesting with because they've got a rookie to start that they drafted, but they also have what's his name that's starting the season.
Kenyon Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Stafford's going to do better than Ben. My question about Ben is just like how good is his receiving core to make it work, and I just don't know. That's my thoughts. And I think
Reed, you weren't big on Juju, but I think Juju's going to have a great year with all the targets he's going to get.
No, I mean I think Juju. I think when I say I wasn't big on Juju, I just where I would have drafted him would have been much later than where he got drafted. That's just the way I meant it. I wasn't trying to say that he's not going to be a bad player. I'm just saying I don't know if he's going to be better than the guys that he got drafted ahead of. So
yeah, I mean, as far as the quarterbacks go, I think especially for where Dwayne got Roethlisberger, I mean, to wait on a quarterback and to get him and know, I mean, what his potential can be if he's fully healthy and they're running on, going on full cylinders, I think that's good value. Stafford as well. I mean, he got hurt last year, and so they've got weapons for sure. If the tight end Hawkinson, I mean, if he can stay healthy and actually really break out, I mean, he could add a whole nother dimension to that offense. I'm not those two quarterbacks. They don't excite me, but if I was somebody who was going to wait, obviously I didn't wait, but if I was waiting on a quarterback, I would have been fine, getting either one of those guys. And, I think Juju should be fine. I mean, his season last year was just a disaster for the Steelers. So, I like Juju. I agree with Richard. I'm not as high as where he was being drafted or maybe as high as some other people, but I mean, certainly with Roethlisberger and him being back in the slot is what they're saying. They're going to play him back in the slot more. He should have a great season. So,
what round Roethlisberger drafted? Because I
was Juju.
Him. No, Roethlisberger.
Oh, Dwayne had him.
Yeah, he was later in the draft. He was the last.
I think that's the good thing about Roethlisberger. It's just that he's late enough to where you can find out within the first couple weeks whether or not he's worth it, and otherwise you could just drop him, probably pick up a different quarterback.
Yeah, he was sixth round. He was sixth round. I think he's going to be good. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Oh, right after Stafford. I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
I thought Stafford going in the sixth was a steal, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that was a great pick.
Yeah.
He was one that if Kyler Murray wasn't there, I would have probably taken Stafford in the next couple of rounds before Nathan. It wouldn't have reached Nathan. That would have been my strategy.
Yeah. Jonathan, were you surprised? I guess because you were drafted, like Richard, you were drafted in the third round. Were you surprised after we had the initial running backs that were going in the first round, and then it was like a wide receiver bonanza? Were you surprised at how many receivers just kept getting taken before you took Metcalf, or did you expect that?
No, I expected it with the PPR league. I expected to be a pretty thin offering by the time I got there, and when I did all these trades for McCaffrey last year, I expected it, but that's why I was thankful to be able to get Cooper
Metcalf.
traded out and get Metcalf in the trade. Get the draft pick to get Metcalf. So
Yeah. No, I love Metcalf. So I think that was great. That was a great pick to get him to where you were drafted in the third round. I think that was a great pick. So
when you were looking at when the round 3 started, were you looking at Metcalf to be the one, or were you looking at other? Were you looking
I
at?
think you took him actually, DJ Chuck. I think that's who I wanted. Didn't he go in the third round?
Yeah, I took him in the pick 3.
Yeah, so he was ahead of Metcalf, but just again, it was a targets game. I think because Jacksonville's going to suck so bad, he's going to get 300 targets. So he's going to catch a lot of balls.
I last year I wanted Chark just because of a Jacksonville fan and he was doing well. I tried to get Josh to trade me and he just ignored it. I was like, dang it! Like, come on, man! Like, talk, please.
Jonathan, did you was there any rookie running backs that or even rookie receivers that, I mean, were you surprised, or were there guys that you were looking at that you didn't get, or was there anything with that class that you thought about in the draft?
I'm not super big on rookies taking that risk, especially with wide receivers. I took this 49ers Brandon Ayuk, in the 8th round, but that was kind of not a lot of risk in that pick. They're just such hit or miss. Obviously that was Daryl's strategy when him and Josh took loads of rookies, and I think Daryl handcuffed himself with every single person sloppy seconds. So if there's any injury to a running back, Daryl's going to be looking good. But if there's not one, Daryl's going to be hurting.
So hey, Tunavites. So when you're in the season and your starting running back goes down, don't even go to the waiver wire. Just go to Daryl's team. Hey, Daryl, you got my backup. Daryl and Josh were loading up on the rookies, and I agree with you. I think obviously the rookie running backs, usually they get off to a better start depending on their situation. But I think with the rookie receivers, with this offseason and what typically happens with the rookie receivers, I think it's going to be really tough for a lot of them to really get off to a great start. And I agree. It's hard to get them. I think I took Jalen Rigger before you, I think, took the other rookie receiver. And that was kind of the same thing towards the end of the draft. And, really I took him mainly just because, I guess there's two ways to look at rookies. There's the most talented rookies, whether it's receiver or running back. And then it's like the rookies you get later in the draft where maybe they just have like a good situation where, I think like you, Jonathan, I took Jalen Rigger just because his situation with the Eagles, he's probably going to get, a lot of work early for a rookie receiver. And so I guess it's just how you look at it. So, and where you draft them, at the cost that they are. So,
I was just looking at Rager today. I was like, because I wasn't really paying attention too much, to be honest. And but I was starting to pay attention, and I'm like, oh, let me look at him, and I'm like, oh, Reed's already got him, so I wasn't even trying. But
I'll say this because we just brought them both up. I really think Brandon, I can't say his last name, Brandon Ayuk and Jalen Rigger. I think those two rookie receivers have a great chance to be the top as far as fantasy points this year because of their situations, not because they're like the best rookie receivers. We all talk about Judy and CeeDee Lamb and Riggs and all those other guys as being like the more talented guys. But I just think, as far as situations go, I think, for Jalen Rigger and Brandon Ayuk, they're in a situation where the teams need a weapon. They got to throw to somebody at receiver. So,
yeah,
my favorite rookie receiver is Justin Jefferson out of LSU. He went to Minnesota, taking Stephon Diggs' role, and they have Adam Thielen, but I think Justin Jefferson could be a good one. He's one of the 13 rookies Josh took.
One of 13. All the rookies. Well, they did say, I don't know. Well, I'd be curious. This is why I wish CBS would let us look at everyone's draft. They said that I have the youngest team, but I only have one rookie. So I don't know. They said I have the youngest team on age-wise. So But I figured that'd be Daryl or Josh with all their rookie teams.
They're just assuming. They looked at that cute little baby face and they just like, oh, he's got the youngest one.
That's true. They looked at Mark Andrews and they said, "Man, that guy's got to be like 20 or something."
So who's somebody's draft you looked at and after looking at CBS and everything, and you're like, wow, they did do a really good job. And anybody step away and impress you outside of me?
Well, Jonathan, I mean,
we did say that yours impressed us. So
we did say that. We did.
Well, let's look at Capinsano because that's what CBS said was the best one.
You know what? That's one I agree with. I think Nathan comes out, and I think he has myself and him have the two strongest teams in the league. I think he did a great job. I love Stafford. I think the only thing Fournette is the only one I get the pick because running backs are scarce. But I like Juju more than Fournette just because of I think Jacksonville again's going to suck and they're going to have to pass the ball a lot. And Fournette and he's going to be out of the game by the second half. But I think Nathan has put together a strong team.
Yeah, he did. I will say that. I mean, I kind of joked with him on the night of the draft about being all in on the Titans, but being able to draft AJ Brown, I mean, that guy. I mean, I had him last year at the end of the year, and I mean, he's awesome. I mean, I know they don't throw a ton, but I mean, that guy when he has the ball in his hands, he's pretty amazing. So I think getting him with Galladay, I think that's pretty strong receivers.
Yeah, and they got a new offense coordinator this year, so it'll be interesting to see.
What do you think about his bench, though?
I'll have to pull that up.
I'm looking at it here. He's got two QBs as a bench with Joe Burrow. I assume he's trying to catch the lightning in a bottle, Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson with that type of pick. Right?
Yeah. Let me see here.
And then Larry,
I love Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara. Those two guys in the starting role are going to be awesome. So I mean, Philip Lindsay, he's fighting with Melvin Gordon, and so you're sharing carries there. But Tyler Boyd, again, I mean, who knows what to expect there? Yeah. Larry Fitzgerald, I think he's like 67.
Yeah, well, and he's going to either be the third or the fourth wide receiver in that, or maybe even fifth if you count the tight end. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they got that Texas. What is it, Texas Tech? Is that where he came from? Cliff came, where they throw the ball all around. So we'll see. Yeah. I hope he has a great year because that means Kyler Murray's doing well.
Yeah, right. Well, of course,
yeah. Well, and he's got. I mean, here's I think one of the X factors for Nathan, and really just if he can stay healthy is Evan Ingram because when Ingram plays, and Richard, he's awesome, but he's missed a lot of time. So
yeah.
I think Austin Hooper is a good backup for that because Austin Hooper did great last year.
I agree. I think that was a good pick to back up Ingram. Ingram, I think, is going to be the best. It's probably going to be if not the one, it's definitely going to be a close two for targeting for the for passing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, and I agree with Jonathan. Fournette. I had Fournette for a lot of last season before I traded him, but he was great last year because he just got the volume. My only thing about him that I think there were receivers there were other players, especially receivers like Juju or others that I would have taken ahead of him. My concern about Fournette, I think they're going to give him tons of workload because this is pretty much his last year in Jacksonville. But I don't think he's going to get as much of the receiving work because they brought in Chris Thompson. And so I think there might be a drop off in that. And if that's the case, that could hurt him a little bit. Although his touchdowns were pretty low last year, so maybe he'll get more touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
So
he did go to Louisiana State University. Sorry, I just had to say Louisiana. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, while we're looking at Nate, we looked at Nathan's team. Number 2. We'll just go ahead and go to Dwayne. Dwayne was the number 2 ranked on the draft rankings. So let's take a look at Dwayne's team.
All right.
I looked at Dwayne's team. I thought that everything he did made sense. There was none of the picks that I was like, oh, like with Nathan, I said he maybe Juju instead of Fournette. Looking at Dwayne's, everything made sense with the order that he went, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Kenyon Drake coming to him in the third pick, I thought was a steal, to be honest. I mean, even if it was just one pick later, but that was it was good for him to be able to, for it to drop to him, to be able to get it, basically replace a player he traded away with ease,
Yeah.
I
think. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think Dwayne did really, really well in the draft. I mean, I wasn't surprised when I saw what his ranking was. I mean, he's got, as good of group of receivers, I think, as anybody, as from top to bottom. I mean, he really drafted heavily in that, and he was still able to get, as we just talked about, Kenyon Drake. He had Chubb as a keeper. Montgomery obviously got hurt a little bit, but I mean, when he comes back, he should have, he should get plenty of volume. So I just think he did really well. And then his tight ends, you got Higbee. If I didn't take Mark Andrews, I would have, Higbee was a guy I liked, and also Chris Herndon he's a sleeper. So, I mean, I think those are two tight ends to pair. I like that pairing. If Higbee doesn't live up to the way he finished last year, he got Herndon for the Jets, and I just like his team from top to bottom. I think he did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I put Allen Robinson-Reed as one of the ones that I think that you'll look back and say you should have taken him over your tight end, everybody.
Could be. He was one that I was looking at. He was one of those guys that I was considering stacking.
I know you have a super strong receiving core, but he was one I thought you might add to it.
Why do you say that, Bill? I'm curious.
Well, I'm not high on Mark Andrews. I think, why
do you say that about Allen Robinson?
Oh, I think it's going to be a lot of passes thrown his way. I think he's in a good spot to get a lot of balls thrown his direction, and because it's a PPR league, I'm not going to pick him over Mike Evans, but I think him being in a PPR league is going to get a lot of touches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Robinson, the volume that he's going to see is more than even a lot. I mean, there's receivers that are probably, we would say, better than him. They're not going to get the amount of targets that he's going to get. But just because in Chicago, even though their offense is not great, I mean, they got to throw to somebody. And he was a guy that I was high on. And you're right, I might regret with him. He was one of those guys that I was really considering in the draft, along with a couple other receivers. So, but yeah, I think he's good. So,
the reason I brought it up is I'm just not sold on Foles being a good quarterback.
He's not even a starter. Isn't Mitchell Trubisky the starter?
I guess they're duking it out right now.
Yeah. Well, they both. I mean, neither one of them is great. I know Richard has a sore spot for Nick Foles with what he did in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
He took a lot of money and did nothing.
They could pay me to go there. I could be just as good.
No, but yeah, he did. I mean, Dwayne got, he kept Evans, and he got Lockett, and then got Robinson. I mean,
I'm not.
Yeah,
and he's got
good receivers.
He's got Cortland Sutton, who's going to be really good. I think the fact that he has Cortland Sutton as a fourth is amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's a sleeper.
Yeah. Well, but this is so like if you're looking at his roster and you're like, oh, how did he get again? That's one of the advantages if you get a lot of, he made the trade with you, Richard, got a bunch of draft picks early on, so that enabled him, to do something like that. I mean, it kind of, it goes both ways. So,
yeah.
All right, so
who is next on the grades? I don't have it up, so.
I think we've been bouncing around. I was going to talk about Dad and Bruce. I think they have the same strategy. To me, they both have some pretty high risk, high reward players. The CBS gave them both C's. I thought they were both closer to B's. You go to like Dad, they has Daniel Jones and Singletary and Gallup, DeAndre Swift, the Bucs defense. It's just a lot of people that could be. Jamison Crowder, there's out of Jets. Emmanuel Sanders, New Orleans. So a lot of people that have the could be great this year next to them with a lot of unknowns. And then Bruce seem to go with a blast from the past strategy with Le'Veon Bell and Tariq Cohen and Odell Beckham. So all these people have proven to be well at one point, and can they rekindle that and do it again?
Yeah, I like what Bruce did. I think what what's not been encouraging news in the last week has been all the I don't know if you guys have seen it, all the drama with Le'Veon Bell and Adam Gase's love affair with the 45-year-old Frank Gore. But that's not the most encouraging news for Bell. So I don't know. That's a weird situation.
And he has Tariq Cohen already ready to go.
Yeah. Darren Waller, I mean, he's a good tight end. I think he's gonna. I think what he did last year was legit. I think it's a good pick.
I think Waller might not get the. I don't think Waller's going to get the volume he got last year, just because they didn't really have a lot of weapons. But his touchdowns, he only had 3 touchdowns last year, so he should have a lot more this year. So, but yeah, no, I like Bruce's team. I mean, if Beckham can at least get back to last year was bad, but I mean, if he can get up to what at least we know he's capable of. I mean, with all the other guys he's got, I mean, I think he's got a good solid team. So I think the big question mark for Bruce will just be his running backs. So I mean, just as far as with Bell and the rest of his group. So
yeah, he's got that Mahomes Hill stack though that can maybe make up for it.
Yeah.
So. All right, you want to go back to PC real quick because we kind of jumped over.
Yeah.
We talked about him a little bit.
Yeah, so PC, he grabbed, when I was looking at receivers, because we all know that, I waited forever to grab more receivers. So Michael Gallup, he's a guy I really like, even in spite of all the other guys they got. I just like him as a receiver. And so he grabbed him, and I really like that pick because I think a lot of people are overlooking him because of the rookie receiver and because of Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I really like PC's running back wide receiver setup with the 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I just really like it. I'm kind of jealous of it a little bit.
Hey, Dalvin Cook's a beast, man. If he can stay healthy, that guy, as much as I hate Florida State, that guy is awesome.
You can ask PC. I tried 2 or 3 times last year to try to get him from him.
Yeah, he's a beast.
So right there with you. So we'll see. Is he doing the hold in strategy where he's going to camp but not practicing?
Yeah, I think he is one of those.
Yeah,
but
he's gonna play.
I think that's the only question mark with him, right? Is just whether or not he's going to play with or without a new contract.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't proven enough yet to not play. I think he'll play.
Yeah.
Unless he's Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, or Le'Veon Bell currently.
I mean, PC did pick up Madison just in case, but I think that's the only concern there.
It's a good handcuff.
Yeah.
Surprised Bill didn't get him.
And it's needed. So he picked up DeAndre Swift as the rookie running back. What do you guys think about that?
He's hurt right now.
Yeah.
So he's I mean, I like him. I like him when they draft him. I thought, okay, but I guess I was reading earlier today that he might not play a whole lot in the beginning because of this injury that's kept him out. So
of all the rookie running backs, I like J.K. Dobbins the most. I know he's going to share it with Mark Ingram, but I think J.K. is. I would have been okay if the Bucs took him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little biased, but I was thinking I kind of like Cam Akers.
With the Rams now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got rid of Todd Gurley, and Montgomery not Montgomery. Henderson didn't improve enough last year, but.
I mean, he's running with the ones. Henderson's not there to compete right now because he's hurt.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of talk about Cam Akers about his fumble in camp, and he kind of has that history of fumbling. But then you watch Hard Knocks, and you see that it was that the reason he fumbled was because Aaron Donald just nasty tackled him. It's kind of like, okay, I get that. you know?
Aaron Donald, he's an okay player.
Yeah, he can push you guys around. All right, who do we want to move on to next?
I don't think we touched on Aaron yet.
Yeah, let's talk about Aaron.
I think he got a great steal with David Johnson falling to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I was looking at David Johnson for my first pick.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. I was hoping he'd fall that far, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, I think he did pretty well. I mean, for Diggs has your third receiver. I think that's pretty good. I mean, even with the new situation, I mean, that's your third receiver. That's pretty good. So,
and Russell Wilson's consistent.
Yeah, he is. So, well, we'll see. Here's the big question with Aaron. We'll see. You know, he grabbed good old Antonio Brown. So we'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah. What the heck, I kept him last year. That was a great win.
I don't think I think didn't he retire?
Jonathan, wait. Can we just pause for a moment? Okay, Jonathan, your team last year was basically like 2020 this year. Okay,
yeah, that's true. I had Andrew Luck, and then he retired 2 weeks later, and it's brutal. And then Richard at the last minute doesn't play and decided to suck. So I missed the playoffs by point.
Listen, that was intense, okay? That was intense.
I hope Richard goes 0-14, if anybody's wondering.
There's 2 games that I messed up on. That one and the first one of the season against Nathan. For sure. Like, I know that I messed up on those 2.
But for Aaron's draft, when looking at it, there's nothing that sticks out like, I think he should have done this, or this was a miss. I think every pick kind of made sense with how he was building his team and his strategy. I liked it.
Yeah. Well, and he got Sterling Shepard, you know, that was like way later than probably a lot of people were taking him. And again, kind of talk about the Giants, you know, what receiver. I mean, if he's healthy, he did pretty good.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the other guy they're talking a lot about in camp, I know you can't always believe it, but they're talking a lot about Noah Fant, you know, as a guy that might break out. So,
yeah, I've heard that. I've hearing rumblings of that.
Well, they got Jack Doyle, who has Phillip Rivers likes his tight ends as much as Reed. So Jack Doyle's a good pick.
Hey, never have enough tight ends.
Is Matt Breida the starter for Miami?
You got Jordan Howard down there as well. So I think they're battling it out right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's between that, basically those 2 guys. I mean, that's it. So, yep.
And good old Greg Zuerlein, Greg the Leg, as a kicker.
He's got to be like 67 years old, but he's been around forever.
You know, not as long as Vinatieri. You know, is he actually?
Yeah.
Vinatieri, I think, is still going, isn't he?
I felt bad because last year his leg was like falling off, and I'm like, man.
Yeah.
I think he's still going.
Gosh. All right, let's. Who's next?
Let's talk about Josh. Or no, we already talk about Josh?
We touched on Josh, just about how he took Gronk and then Henry the next round, and I think he took the wrong buck. That was my synopsis on him. I think CBS gave him a B, and I said C just because he has a good core, but he took 13 rookies after that. So a lot of question marks on are they going to be good or not. So.
Yeah. I like that he got. I mean, I like James Conner. I mean, the guy's hurt a lot, but if he's healthy, he's a top 10 back. Jonathan, you know that. So, I like his backs. The only thing I think with him, and I like McLaurin, him getting Terry McLaurin. I guess the big question is going to be his kind of receiver flex because Sammy Watkins. I mean, he usually has his one game a year where he shows up, and the rest of the year he's invisible. So, you know, I don't know. He'll have to, I guess, with all the rookies, as you said, Jonathan, one of those rookies will work out, I guess. So,
he didn't take 4 quarterbacks, as you guessed, Richard. I think he kept it low with 2 or 3.
Took 3.
He kept it at 3.
He had some control.
I don't understand why he took Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going. I don't think Herbert's going to play too much. I like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has the potential to be MVP.
Yeah.
But Justin Herbert, I think he'll be dropped by week 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think quarterbacks are. I mean, Matt Ryan and Watson. I mean, those two guys. He might be trading. He might be trading one of those guys because I like Matt Ryan a lot this year.
Yeah.
I think Deshaun Watson. He's a big question mark for me because he had Hopkins and Hopkins is gone now, and the question is, did Hopkins make Deshaun Watson, or is Deshaun Watson good without him? That's going to be. I think Deshaun Watson's a good quarterback. I'm just curious if it's going to be the same level or if it's going to be a drop off, or if it's going to be better. I don't. It could be better.
Yeah. Well, I read a stat with Bill O'Brien, head coach there, how he's never finished in the top 15 for passing. And so if you're a Watson fan, that's concerning. But if you're a David Johnson guy, it could be a resurrection of his career. So
yeah. Well, I think it's why
he's an old school pound of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the frustrating things people, with Deshaun Watson is that, he doesn't, because of Bill O'Brien's offense, Watson doesn't run a lot. I mean, because they run the football, the running backs, and then just the way the system is. So I think a lot of people, they wish that Watson would be able to run more. But then the crazy thing is then you'll see like Watson, they'll do these design runs where he just gets blasted, and then people are kind of scratching their heads. So, all right.
You want to move on to Donald?
Yeah. Let's move on to Donald. Best defense.
Let's do it. Let's butcher Donald here. Who's your daddy, man? What were you thinking?
He's already in a bad position. He's got a roster warning.
Hey, Donald, you got to go on the waiver wire, buddy. Okay, go spend those dollars.
You can get something for free. No, I thought the first pick. I think Edwards-Helaire. I think stud. But then when he got to the Steelers and then Drew Brees, I don't know. I'm not sure if he had Liz drafting for him or if he just throwing darts at that point. But I think he's going to look back and realize he could have taken anybody else but those two and had starters.
Yeah, when he started off the draft, and of course he got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then he got Juju, and I mean Keenan Allen's still solid even with the quarterback situation. I first, when he started off with those first 3 picks, I thought, man, okay, Donald's just going to crush this draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like you said, like the Steelers and Drew Brees, and then like I think he didn't pick for like another hour or so.
He didn't go until 9th round after that. So
yeah, I almost forgot that Donald was even part of our league. I mean, it was.
And then the 10th round he took the Vikings, so he had 2 defenders before he had a full roster.
Hey, different philosophy. That's okay.
Donkey, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Hey, it's only been 2 seasons ago, and he was in the playoffs. So
I still think he came out with a good team overall. At the end of the day, I think the Steelers are good, but I think that it could have been better than what he ended up with. But I still think he has a solid team at the end of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think his tight end he's going to be switching out a lot. Is the only one that I see for his starting core right now.
I expected Reed to notice that synopsis with the tight end first, but
I decided not to take everything from you guys. Just I'll let you handle this one, the tight end. Mark Andrews. I'm just going to make it known. I have a feeling that every time, Allen Robinson is just like going off this year, you're going to be like, Reed, you could have had Allen Robinson.
I will notify you. There's a couple. I think Darryl. I do the same thing for Darryl with Melvin Gordon over David Johnson. So
yeah, that was a little bit surprising when Melvin. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Hey, let's go to Darryl's team.
All right. We're changing names so much. I'm slowly remembering who's who again.
Darryl was also one that got like rookie happy, and
Yeah. But I like that he has Dak Prescott, even though it was a second pick and surprised us all. I like that he has him.
Yeah, but if he really likes him, he wasn't going to get him. He wasn't going to be there at 14, I don't think. So I think if it was the move he had to make to get Dak, I agree. I mean, I agree with you guys that it might have been early, but if his heart was like, hey, Dak's going to have a great year, he wasn't going to be available at 14. So.
All right, I agree.
Yeah.
But then he went with Jonathan Taylor, J.K., Jerry Jeudy. I mean, he is. I think his roster average age is like 17.
Well, I'm really high on Jonathan Taylor. I think it's tough with Taylor. So here's the thing. I love Taylor, and if I obviously would draft, where you're trying to pick him, I knew going in this draft that somebody was going to draft him high, and it would have been higher than I would have liked because I just think it's going to be between their running backs, in the early going. I think it's just going to be hard to really get maybe the return on your, drafting him that high. Obviously he's the future, but I do like him though.
I think the only one we haven't talked about is John Mack. Is that right?
Yeah, and ourselves. Yeah. But we did that last week, so.
Johnny Mack. I thought I'd give him an A for his draft. I liked it. I think my only one that I would have changed if I was him was Mark Ingram, just because he's sharing the backfield with J.K. I would have gone with A.J. Brown. But overall, I think John Mack did a nice draft, even though he was in and out quite a bit.
Yeah, I think him and CBS did a really good job. Really good job. So it was a team effort. No, I think
seven running backs. Is that right? 7 running backs.
I got that prediction right.
7.
No, Mark Ingram. I agree, with Mark Ingram. It could be tough. It's gonna be tough to repeat last year for him, just how good he was. But again, he had so many running backs like Ronald Jones. I also like Ronald Jones this year, and he'll be able to throw him in the mix. And Naeem Hines, for just PPR leagues with Phillip Rivers. We know Phillip Rivers loves to throw the quarterbacks or the running back. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be okay with the running back with how many he has. With that. So.
Yeah. I want to make the point about Mark Ingram. Like, Mark Ingram was good last year, right? I would argue that at minimum they're gonna run him as hard as they can, similar to Fournette. Not necessarily for the same reasons, but just that Ingram's getting older. So if he's still good, why start tiring out your rookie, right? I think it's possible that Ingram gets a lot of workload at the beginning of the season and then go from there.
Could be. He's not a bad run. I mean, there's a lot worse running backs you could have for sure. But his receivers. I mean, I guess the big question mark. I mean, Cooper Kupp's awesome. The big thing is AJ Green. Is he going to actually be able to be on the field? And he was great for me last year. I mean, he was full season last year. I mean, he was awesome. So, but.
Cooper Kupp is the one I root against the most out of all the wide receivers. Just because I have Robert.
I think we lost Jonathan. I think his phone died.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? He said he was.
I'm guessing
he was taking too much. So.
Yeah, I'm guessing his phone died there. Well, we'll keep going, and if he gets back on, then.
But Cooper Kupp is the one I always root against, just because he's competing with Robert Woods for touches and yards and touchdowns. So anything not Cooper Kupp is a better chance for Robert Woods to go off. So that's kind of why I do that, but that's just me.
No. John Mack's going to be. I mean, he's certainly going to be in the mix, and I think. Well, let's go to this, Richard, since we've covered all the teams. And as we're kind of wrapping up today's show, who do you think are maybe what I've asked this. Who do you think has, maybe, just since we looked at the teams, the toughest division just from the preseason looking out, and then maybe some of your favorites are in some of the divisions. Obviously you and I are in the same division, Jonathan too.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's do Atlantic Division last, just because the three of us are kind of together in the same division.
Okay.
Hold on, I think Jonathan's trying to get There he is. He's back.
My phone overheated. We are coming up on the end of the show, Mark, I guess.
Yes, we are. We are. I was just saying how great AJ Green was for me last year, and I was waiting for you to agree with me, and I heard nothing, and I was like,
he's no Mark Andrews.
True. It's different this year, okay? Mark Andrews.
Jonathan, we were just about to go over our predictions for the season on who we think's gonna pull it out.
Favorite.
Okay, for each division.
Yeah,
favorite.
We're gonna keep that Atlantic Division last between the division champs.
All right.
So I guess let's go with Pacific Division first. Reed, what do you think?
I really like Bruce out of that division. So I just like. I mean, we talked about the. I think PC and Aaron have really solid teams. I think they're definitely gonna be contending. Donald, I think he's still got a good team, even though we're roasting him for some of the picks. But I just like Bruce's team. I know it's his big question mark is running back, but I mean he's loaded at receiver. I mean he's got a great tight end, obviously Mahomes. I just like his team going into the season.
Yeah. Richard, what do you say, Richard?
I was looking at PC or Bruce as well. I don't know if I could choose one at the moment, just because I think both of them are really solid. I really like PC's setup. So I think that's the way I would lean, is just PC. Plus PC the past 2 years he's won and he's come second. So
yeah,
there's it's hard to go against that right now.
That's a great point. I think to me this is going to be this year's toughest division. I have all four listed. Pretty equal, pretty solid teams. If David Johnson can be the David Johnson of old and kind of renew with what he's doing with Bill Bryan, I think he's going to get a lot of carries for that opportunity. So I'm going to take Aaron.
Okay, he's calling for a David Johnson resurrection.
I am.
Good. All right, how about the Southern Division? Jonathan, why don't we start with you this time?
Oh, man, I have to go with Nathan. I think Nathan's team, just top to bottom, is really strong. Really strong, unless there's an injury. If there's a bunch of injuries, Daryl's going to wipe everybody out. But if not, I'm going to take Nathan.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with you. I think Dwayne's got a strong argument, but I'm going to go with you as well. I think Nathan's going to come out really strong.
And I really like. I mean, it's between Nathan and Dwayne to me in that division when I look at their teams. But it's a tough one. I think and that's hard. It's a coin flip between me and Nathan and Dwayne. But I'll go with Dwayne.
All right. Still like that.
And if we go to our league, let's say we can't pick ourselves, because we all know we'd pick ourselves. Of the other three teams, who do you say?
No, I think Dwayne's going to really enjoy that he got picked. So I appreciate.
And you're going to hear from Dale for not being. So.
All right, so I'll go first this time, since it's not me. I can't pick me. I'm going to pick John Mack, just so I don't have to pick you guys.
Wow, okay. All right.
Well played.
Too, Richard.
I like it, actually.
I really like Jonathan's team. Jonathan, I think you're going to be really tough to beat the first week because you and I are going against each other. I think it's going to be tough. I honestly think that along with Pacific Division, I think Atlantic Division is going to be super contested.
Mm-hmm.
If I wouldn't be surprised if we're all like even by the end of the year as far as within the division.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, but I might be thinking about my team a little bit too much, too strongly.
Jonathan,
Well, speaking of, I think you're going to go 0-14, personally, Richard.
Oh,
Jonathan, before you give your who you think for our division, what do you think about the how CBS aligned our divisions?
How do I think about it? I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I'm gonna have a good time finally getting revenge on Richard twice, and really just cheering against him every week to see him last in the division is really the thing that has me jazzed this year.
Oh gosh!
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna have to go with Reed. I think Reed has another good team. Unfortunately, I think Mark Andrews is going, in spite of Mark Andrews' pick, he's still going to do pretty good. Come out second place.
Wow. Yeah, so much hate on Mark Andrews. I'm telling you, man. He's probably. It's all right. Don't motivate him, okay? He'll play angry. I like it. I like it. Keep hating on him. Get angry, Mark Andrews. All right. Let's see our division. Yeah, I think our division is gonna be super competitive. And I mean, if you look at, just the running back position in our division, gosh, there's going to be a lot of good running backs in the division. So, I probably going to go with Jonathan, and I think I just like what you did in the draft. I think you had three of like basically the best keepers and arguably with anybody, and then you got to get DK, to get Kyler, and then you got Mostert. 49ers are going to run the football. I just like your team makeup. So I think just like last year, they're going to be there. I think you're going to be the favorite to take it.
I hope Richard plays all 14 weeks this year. When it's his turn to put people in, I hope he's paying attention.
Dude, the fact when you got Raheem Mostert, I looked at that and I went, wait, Raheem Mostert's still there? That was my legitimate thought. I was so mad because I was like, how did he get that far back? Like I was mad. I didn't think he could be that far back. I can't believe that happened.
I was surprised. I was.
That was one of the steals of the draft, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, and don't forget Anthony McFarland, man. He's going to come out of nowhere. Watch out
for good year.
Yeah, he's killing it.
I keep hearing Anthony McFarland. Is that the same name as Booger McFarland? But Booger's first name is actually Anthony.
I think is it Anthony or yeah, I think so.
I keep thinking of him when I hear Anthony.
I hope he doesn't run the football like Booger McFarland.
Yeah. He's a little bit faster.
Has more skills.
All right, well, guys, I think that's a wrap for today's show. And Tunavites, we're going to be as we kind of are giving our favorites and look at the divisions. I think our next show will really be just kind of giving our predictions for week 1, and maybe we'll be able to get. Oh, actually, before we close, Jonathan, we got to get your opinion on this because this is what all the talk is about. And
no.
Yeah, this is all the talk. Okay, no, it's not Mark Andrews. Sorry, just calm down. But Captain Insano, the latest video, and what in the world's going on?
I have no clue what directions this is going or how it's even relevant anymore. It's all over the place. I was expecting more fantasy football than James Bond, but hey, we'll see how this plays.
Well, yeah, I would just invite Captain Insano to join us back into reality of Tunaland. And I feel like we're watching this like comic book movie play out, and I'm confused. Is this the fantasy football universe with Tunaland, or is this one of Nathan's fantasy dreams of comics? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe weed's legal in Lexington.
I think the biggest question that plagues me outside of what's happened to him is why is he called captain? What gives him that title? He's a millennial. He's elitist. Maybe.
I don't know, but I just hope. Well, you know what? It's Nathan's team, but I just have a feeling Captain Sano right now seems more like a distraction than a help to Nathan's team. So that draft grade might mean nothing by the time the season. He's kind of like trying to like be right there with Antonio Brown on the level of just bring your team up. So yeah.
I changed my pick.
Okay. Well, Captain Sano, if you're out there.
Hey,
we didn't
say. I said I changed my pick. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Dwayne that wins that division. Then.
Oh, you're switching on us already, Richard. Man,
I forgot about the Insano with part of it.
It's
all
real.
right, kids. My phone is
real.
dead. I'm at 2%.
All right.
Wow. Okay, well, Jonathan. Well, thanks for joining the show, Tuna Buzz.
Thank you, brother.
XO.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right.
See ya. Go Billy Goats.
All right, Richard. Well, Tunavites, we are next episode. We'll be just kind of looking at our predictions for week 1, and can't promise anything. Maybe we'll have another special guest. Maybe you'll just be stuck with Richard and I. Just keeping it real and fishy. So hope you enjoy this episode, Tunavites. We're getting ready for the season. It's exciting. We're ready to go. And as always, stay fishy.
Bye.